Hello!
Oh, hi there.
Well, it's time for another game of...
I think it could be beef.
I think it could be beef. We just had lamb. We were...
Yeah, actually, we have just had lamb.
There were options. There was chicken, wasn't there? Pork. What was the other option? Well,
beef.
Beef. Yes, we went with lamb. You went with lamb. I wasn't given these bloody options. You made the selection for me.
Well, you didn't complain, did you?
Like Joan Crawford would.
What? It just isn't content anymore.
So... we're back again. It seemed like the right time to do this because there's a change in the weather and the atmosphere.
What does that mean?
Well, it's cold now.
Yeah, it's bloody cold. I hate it.
It's what's the date today? The 3rd of October? Some shit.
Is that the 2nd?
So I think who cares? But the fact is that I'm in a blanket right now. My tootsies are very chilly because well,
I mean, you're always in a blanket, so I don't know what the point is.
Not always.
Yeah, you sit in that corner of the sofa with all of the cushions
Well, listen,
and
if-
both of the throws and just like cocoon yourself.
If the throw is there, cocoon, Jasmine Masters, thank you very much. If the throw is there, I'm going to use it. But you don't like cushions. You throw them on the floor.
I don't like cushions.
And
What's
I don't
the point in
understand that.
What is
Who
the
the
point
fuck
in
doesn't want to be surrounded by comfort?
They're so uncomfortable.
No, I mean, what is wrong with your body?
Well, maybe my body is just so sophisticated.
Your body
I do
is
not
so
need cushions.
Angular and bony.
That was rude.
I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. Very, very right. So,
What are we even talking about in this podcast
why
today?
must you always just... Why can't it just be a nice conversation? People want to hear that. You don't have to be like, point 1. What? Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
My first period. Well, I thought, since it's our main gig at the moment, and we always seem to sort of talk about it a bit, we talk about Halloween.
I fucking love Halloween.
Because we've mentioned it in our September favourites and here and there, but we are throwing a large party this year, and we've been trying to have this party for bloody years. We had one in our last shitter where Novympia began, and there was no room for anyone. So
That was such a big mistake, and I partly blame you because
what?
I barely invited anyone to that, and then you just invited like your entire work
I
staff.
can't help it if I've got friends and you don't.
No, but it just kept growing out of control, and it was a really bad idea.
It was a shit show. But this time we have a house with space.
So what we're doing is we are inviting half the number of people that we did the year before last, but we've got twice the amount of space. So
Well,
I
and
think it'll be a
also
lot better.
no one from my work because I hate all of them. So just none of those people are going to come now. We have so much planned in the way of decorations, and we've started approximately nothing. We've not even finished our own sort of outfits.
No.
I've mentioned my outfit a few times. I'm going to do the Blair Witch.
Mm.
You've not mentioned yours. I
No.
think you're not going to mention it now.
No, I can't even remember why I don't want to tell you guys, but I just kind of want it to be a surprise, and I hope it's not going to be like a big anticlimax, and we're going to think, fuck, is that it?
Oh, you know what? It's going to be an anticlimax of Maleficent proportion. Do you remember that movie Maleficent? Everyone was so excited and it was an absolute turkey. But that's fine. That's neither here nor there. It might be amazing.
But decorations, I'm so excited to start doing, but we actually need to like pull our fingers out and start.
Well,
doing
but
stuff.
that's a brilliant segue. We love a segue here at I Think It Could Be Beef. Pulling fingers out. Because you want to do a mystery meat box. No, not mystery meat, just a mystery box.
What are you talking about?
The box you put your hand in.
Yeah, I really like that kind of game where you have like a bunch of shoe boxes stuck together and you cut holes in all of them and then you put random stuff in. When you've had a few drinks, you're going to put your hand in and try and guess what it is.
Would it not have to be a larger box than a shoe box? They're a bit shallow.
It depends what you're putting in the box, doesn't it?
Well, but what if you've got a great big beastly hand? There are some people coming that probably have swollen hands.
How big? How small do you think a shoebox is?
Yeah, they're quite small. There's a shoebox just over there. I want a larger box. We can get some...
What are you talking about? No one's hand is bigger than a shoebox. This is not even a thing.
Yes, but then you can... It's only like an envelope, a post box. You just sort of slit it in. You want a bit more room to manoeuvre. Don't you want a little bit more room in the box? Okay, well listen. We're going to do this. I've not done this since I was in... I was in Beavers. You know Beavers?
Yes.
So people aware of Beavers. And it's like Cub Scouts.
Say beaver again.
Beaver. And I can just remember being so absolutely disgusted. I pulled all the shit out, and it was like spaghetti. You know, like tin spaghetti. It was like that. And like my cub. What is the main beaver called? Like the big
I don't
beaver.
fucking know.
Angry beaver. Because you have like big owl
Big
and stuff,
beaver.
don't you? What are the people that run it? We should ask Charmaine Diamond Shite, because she actually is one of these scout people. What are they called? Big owl.
I don't know.
Right. Well, clearly, you know help to me here. But he got really annoyed because I pulled all the shit out. But what do you want to put in them?
All kinds of different things.
Knives.
Knives.
We could reserve one special box for knives for an asshole. Well, there might be someone coming we don't like.
I don't know. I want to get creative.
Okay. Well,
Different types of food.
What sun-dried tomato? Something oily.
Oh yes.
No, because I can't do this because I'm going to have makeup on my hands. But for the guests, mind you, I'll know what they are anyway. So who cares?
Stuff like jelly's a really boring one, but like the inside of like scooped up pumpkin.
Try it. Would that be a good one? Try it. What about just poo? Just put poo in one of them. Just take a big shit in a box. Welcome, party goers. Who wants to feel the mystery? It's not poo. Mystery, not poo box. I was
You get
surprised
some of those like those squidgy rubber toy things from G&T's.
It's fake poo. They're real one. Like those willy things that go inside each other. You know those watery willy things?
Yes, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean,
Yeah.
yes. Penis hour. Well, that's one way of doing it, and we'll put it in the kitchen. Okay, guys, what are some great suggestions, please, for this mystery box?
Yeah, what should we put in?
You know, sort of nails or a mouse trap.
That's a horrible idea.
Well, no one said it was going to be a fun party. And, right, okay, so here's the thing. We'll do that. I imagine that'll go in the kitchen. Would you think? Where
Yeah,
would we
I
put
would
that?
think so.
Yeah, because there might be mess. Something else we want to do for the kitchen. And I saw this on Facebook just a couple of days ago. Where did we say we were going to do it? Upstairs?
Oh, upstairs,
The projector
because
thing.
we need this space, and I want to use our dining table for refreshments.
How far back does the projector have to go?
I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. We
So-
can always go on the bed.
Basically, I have found on Facebook the other day, it just came up. It's so fucking sick. It's you put a sheet up at your window, and then you buy a projector, just a regular, you can plug it into a laptop, I imagine, or whatever, I don't know. And you project like ghosts and like demons and shit on your window. So from outside, it looks like you've actually got a haunted house.
I think it's going to be so cool.
And
So that would be on, upstairs in our bedroom. And our bedroom is like the front of the house, so you'll be able to see it from outside.
I hope it works.
I think it will work.
Yeah, I think it'll work. And then we have, that drawer in the kitchen that we put all of the plastic bags in.
Mm-hmm.
I found a bunch of red light bulbs.
Oh yeah, I want to change the hallway.
The
to
hallway
red.
and like the downstairs shitter.
No.
No,
Not downstairs.
don't be ridiculous. Not the chance. Why not?
Because it's a mirror in there. People need to be able to see what they're doing, like makeup and stuff. But there are bulbs we can switch. Definitely the one in the hallway. Maybe the one like up the stairs, at the landing. We leave that on, and it will just be like red lights. I can't imagine many people are going to go upstairs, but it will look cool.
Do you know what we're going to do? And I guarantee that there's going to be people listening that are going to steal this idea because it's such a great one. So go ahead. The Stranger Things.
I feel like every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to be doing that this year.
Well, you didn't think of it.
No, I think it's a great idea, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be doing it.
We're going to do a wall that's got the Stranger Things Ouija
Like the
board,
painted
Christmas
alphabets.
lights. You know when Winona Ryder's rolling around the house, like her hair's going all over the place. She's got the wire coat hanger, and it's the Christmas lights story scenario with the wall. So we're going to do that,
Yeah, that's a really cool idea.
and we're going to have what was that horror we watched with all the dolls? Oh, it was American Horror Story, wasn't it? With the dolls hanging from the ceiling. Which is it borrowed from the Blair Witch Project? Who cares? But we're gonna just have the ceiling littered with Blair Witch dolls.
I really liked how they did that in Roanoke because it was so. Obviously it was the same as Blair Witch, but it was they'd taken it and amped it up a little bit. There were so many of them in like various sizes, and they were like the way they did the string like cobwebs. It was really cool. So we want to try and like borrow that if we can.
But that
Probably
should be
a bit
so
ambitious,
easy
but-
because if you guys remember the layout of our living room, I was going to say living room kitchen-ish, but it's not a kitchen anymore. That was the last shooter. There's a curtain rail one side of the room, and then we've got a banister the other side, and it'll be so easy to sort of, do this sort of twine setup from one side to zigzagging back and forward, and then we can just hang them from there. It'd be great. I've got a big
Just got to
sack.
think though about how low they're going to hang. They're going to have to be quite high up because we're going to be very tall. They can't really be much lower than the lights.
I'm not that tall, to be honest. So I don't know. It's just yourself. Boost! Speak for yourself. I know it wasn't very hard. Boost! It's just so funny. So that's another thing we want to do. I've got a little list of other stuff. I don't want to find these. Oh, it's up here. Don't worry, guys. What other decorations do we want to do? What do we want to do for the garden? Because
I
you're
want
very-
some jack-o'-lanterns, obviously. But I also saw on Pinterest, and this might not be feasible, it depends. We need to go into town tomorrow and have a look in the charity shops. So I want to get like a whole bunch of like baby dolls. Not like Barbie dolls, like actual baby dolls.
really
Even
fucked up baby
toddlers.
dolls.
Because I saw on Pinterest, one of the ideas was someone had got, I think it was about 3 dolls. They stood them up on their lawn, on their back lawn, and like made them look a bit like zombie-like, and then put red LEDs in their eyes.
I love that idea.
So that was really cool. It looked so effective just in the lawn.
Yeah, anything to do with baby dolls. If we get like a whole bunch of those, litter them around the house and like that doll island.
No.
It's always featured on like BuzzFeed scary shitters from around the world. It's this island. I don't know where it is. Is it Mexico? Somewhere like that. The Honduras, maybe? And it's just an island where someone's put dolls fucking everywhere. There's like
Why?
mouldy dolls. It's so scary. I don't know.
That's terrifying.
Is it an island or is it someone has to sort of fill me in on that one? But there's a place that's full of dolls. Something like that. And Nova had a great idea relating to sort of jars. Like, just a regular jar. Maybe a big one. And you fill it with blood or water or some shit. Maybe like fingers or something.
Yeah.
And then in every jar we can have a photograph of like a party goer, like a different person attending the party. And then put those all over the place.
But I wanted it to look like their head was in the jar. You can understand what I was saying.
Well, yes, I get that, but how the hell would you do that?
Okay, so I'm thinking if we can find like a high def picture of like a selfie on Facebook, and we Photoshop it, so like white out their eyes, like give them cataracts, try and like desaturate it, maybe like make them a bit bruised or like bloodied up. We could do it in Photoshop and then print it on like really high quality photo paper, laminate it, and then we could put that in the jar, like in the middle of the jar,
Yes.
and then fill the jar up with like water and shit.
Yeah, but that's still a photo of their face.
Yeah.
But that's not going to look like their head, is it? It's just
No,
a
but I
photo.
think it could do if you put water in the jar.
I think it would just look like a photo.
It's gonna be all
But,
dependent on the
regardless, I
lighting
think
and stuff.
that'll be fine. If you put maybe a severed finger in the bottom of the person's picture, it might look like it's their finger cut off as like a trophy thing. Like when a serial killer keeps a little trophy.
Oh yeah, but we could do that for some of them.
Well, I mean, all of these are great ideas. We're only spitballing, but there's just a lot of work that needs to go into it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need to stop sleeping in until like 1 in the afternoon on that day.
I'm sorry, we need to. I'm always up.
You never get me up.
No, because you'd be bloody pissy if I woke you up. How dare you?
Well, you did wake me up this morning. You were watching something on your phone that was really loud.
Yes, well, I have to somehow do it, even if it's my mistake. You have been very sleepy recently. I'm worried
I'm
that
so tired.
maybe you have diabetes.
No, I'm just so tired. I'm
Why?
working so much.
Oh, right. I don't know. We watched a great movie last night. I feel like people will be annoyed if we don't just discuss American Horror Story quickly.
Oh well, we'll do a review at some point. We'll do a video review once a few more episodes have happened. But we're really enjoying it at the moment. We think it's amazing.
I feel like I enjoyed Hotel whilst it was on. But looking back, I would not watch that shit again. And I feel like now this new season just is so good. It's just stripped down. It's back to basics. It's not got all that glamour and guts
Yeah.
and sex and, it was great. The Lady Gaga hotel show, but it wasn't. This one really is good. I'm not in love with how the Roanoke bit is being handled.
What do you mean?
Well, the sort of, I guess they look fine, but it doesn't look amazing. It just kind of reminds me of Kathy Bates' character when she was that other you know, what was her name? Madame. What was her name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, in Coven, she played that awful bitch woman.
French woman.
Yes. What was her name?
These people aren't French.
What? Well, no, she wasn't either, but the character just kind of reminds me of it. I don't know. It sort of just seems a bit ham, that bit.
That doesn't make any sense. On Coven, she was like a very wealthy woman who had
But just
slaves
kind of
and-
evil, though.
Right, well, that is the weakest non-criticism I've ever heard.
I don't know, it just seems a bit ham to me. They're just sort of pilgrims in a forest. I don't know. We'll see. Listen,
That
listen,
is the whole basis of the
listen, but
myth.
you can't say anything in this house.
Oh no, but you have to be able to like back it up. You can't just say something.
Oh, I can
nonsensical.
back it up. I can back it up. Oh, God. I did earlier on. You didn't appreciate it. No, I always try with you, and you're pulling a face now.
Oh.
I was, you were passing me in the hallway. I thought prime time, just to sort of be a bit cheeky.
No,
you
because
practically punched me in the face.
No, because I needed to piss.
Oh,
I was on my way to the toilet, and you kind of like stopped me in the hallway.
well, we
And
haven't
then
tried
proceeded
that.
to like dry hump me, and I was just like, I need to pee.
Well, listen, that's the last fucking time I'm going to dry hump you in the hallway.
I was just like, I'm going to piss on you.
You
so
never
I need
said
to go.
that. You
I
just
did.
You were very chilly.
I think I said something like to you, well, that's very nice, but I need to pee.
Well, no, I think you smacked me.
I didn't smack
You
you.
smacked me around. Call you Chris Brown. Don't make Chris Brown jokes, please. No, it's not appropriate. So yes, American Horror Story. It's great. Apparently, there's going to be a great big twist. Okay, yes, we'll do a video about it, but I just want to talk about it. There's going to be a great big twist.
Episode 6.
Mind you, you said that, but have you just made that up?
No, Ryan Murphy said, episode 6. He was like, you guys think you know what the theme is from this season, but you have no idea.
Maybe we're thinking it's going to be something along the lines of like the people in the I don't know, maybe that they're actually separate people. Well, obviously they're separate people, but maybe that
What are you talking about?
they're not talking about the same thing, or they're going to end up being in the same scene together.
We don't think any of this.
I-
What are you talking about?
Like I had a theory, and now I can't remember what it was.
I said that I think it could be one of two things or both things. I think maybe the actors that are reenacting what happened, the shit might start happening to them as well, because if they're on location, then maybe they're going to start experiencing the creepy stuff. Maybe we'll see the real person that Kathy Bates is playing and stuff like that. Or it might be something really creepy and maybe more interesting about the production company, like in real life. There might be something more to this documentary behind the scenes.
And then Lady Gaga comes on. It wasn't love. Well, we won't talk about that song.
I like that song.
Let's just take a second. by
I'm
the way.
disappointed in that song.
Yes,
I still like it.
It's horrible. It sounds
No.
awful. It just, I've said it once before. I'll say it again. It's like someone is gently pressing their foot into a deflating liner.
No.
You know what really gets my goat is that you, you not only did a video about Britney Spears' album saying that you don't like that one song,
Which song?
Clumsy,
Clumsy.
but you listened to it in the bath all the bloody time.
Okay, no, only because.
Only because I really love it.
No.
Only because, oh no.
I listened to the whole album all the way through.
Yeah, but you can just skip that one because you hate it, but you don't because you fucking love it.
Oh, I need to get tissue.
You know, she always gets something loose halfway through getting tissue.
Yeah, because my nose.
I think the smarter amongst us have realised that she's leaving the room to fart. I say the smarter amongst us. I think everyone's figured that one out. Oh, she's brought back an arbitrary piece of tissue to press against her nose, even though she
Okay,
leaves the room to fart.
I don't hate that song. I never said I hate that song. I said that it's not. I don't like it as much as everyone says, and I don't get it, and I don't really like the chorus. But if it comes on, I don't hate it enough to skip it.
And then I break into the bathroom, and you're like singing into the shower head, and you're like soaping yourself up. Clumpy.
It's still Britney. It's still
It's still brightness.
good by default.
So, okay, that's done then. Let's talk about that movie we watched last night. What do you think?
Yes, we watched a horror movie last night, which I think came out in April on Netflix.
Oh, is it
called
this year?
Hush. Yeah.
We are so into Netflix, by the way. When we get ready, we used to have to think of bloody which DVD to watch. We watch them all too many times. Oh, it's only in the background, whatever. But Netflix there now, we can just choose, Legally Blonde the other day was a great one. But you know, it's right there. And movie night last night, we had some wine, and this movie came up. It's called Hush.
And this is a Blumhouse film, and it's directed by a guy who he directed Oculus, which was also another fantastic
That was
film.
so good.
And it was
That was
written
fucked up.
by this guy, I can't remember his name, and his wife stars as the lead in the movie. And if you guys haven't seen the trailer for it, it is about a woman who is deaf,
To be a woman.
and she's a writer, and she is home alone one night, and there is an intruder who basically plays a game with her and says that you can get in the house, but he's just gonna fuck around with her until she wants to basically die, and then he'll come into the house. And she's just trying to figure out how she can get rid of this guy, but she's deaf and she can't hear. And it's just a really clever film, because I would say probably about 80% of the film is not silent, but there's no speech, no
There's
dialogue.
Such great atmospheric sound effects, and you sort of feel like you're sensing vibrations, and so does she. And it's they're very, very well done.
Very, very clever.
And it there's another movie coming out this year. It's not related at all, but there's a similar idea that there's someone breaking into a house, but there's a blind guy. Maybe people recently are just really loving people with these sort of impairments. So
I don't know, the blind thing looks completely different. Okay, so there's like from what I got from the trailer, there was this like killer who was blind, wasn't it? The bad guy was blind.
And then 2017, there's a movie where someone breaks into Helen Keller's house and just pushes her around. Pushes her around on a hostess trolley. Helen Keller. What was that song?
We really liked Hush, so we would recommend that. It is on Netflix. I think Netflix bought the exclusive distribution rights to it, so you can get a cinema release, which is interesting.
It was especially quickly, just before we get onto it, going back to Helen Keller. What's that song where it's like, "Come on, Helen Keller"?
Minute Luzon.
Oh God!
Should have sung for Helen Keller.
It was dreadful. Anyway, shut up talking about Helen Keller. We watched this Hush movie after we watched Lindsay Lohan's "I Know Who Killed Me," which was, words fail me.
We watched it
supposed to be
knowing it was
bad.
going to be bad, but we watched it because we would love to see Lindsay Lohan in a train wrecking film.
But when
And
some
it did not fail to
movies,
deliver.
some movies are bad, but you love them because they're just so naff, and you go along with it, and it's like a fun ride.
This movie made me laugh because it obviously thought it was such like a thought-provoking piece of artwork. This film thought so fucking much of itself.
It was
hilarious.
tasteless. It was, oh God,
The
it was
music
gaudy.
was so offensively cheesy and bad.
I mean, this is a movie where Lindsay Lohan loses a leg and an arm. Oh, I get it, damn, it's interesting that. And there's a part where they strap on a ginormous fucking rubber hand, and it's just always in shot. This humongous bloody rubber is it's comically large.
huge.
I mean, why the hell is it so big? Oh, it's like a Mickey Mouse glove. It's not okay. But, Lindsay's done some stinkers. Did you see Freaky Friday?
I loved
Was she in
Friday.
that?
She was in that.
What actually, apart from, let's say, Mean Girls and The Parent Trap, I want to say, which I don't know whether that actually did very well or not. People seem to like The Parent Trap. That's a remake. Is that a remake?
No, Freaky Friday was a remake.
But I think The Parent Trap was a remake as well. But what else has she done that's good, though, Lindsay Lohan? She was in Elizabeth Taylor thing, but that was panned.
Well, I mean, I don't want to state the obvious here, but obviously she was in a certain film with Tyra Banks. That was quite a fantastic film. Obviously, greatly snubbed by the Academy that year.
So Nova's talking about a movie called Life Size, which I'm looking at the DVD right now because we went to there's a chain of like secondhand DVD stores in the UK called, is it Sex or Kex? CEX? I don't know. It's the worst name ever. How the hell do you even say it? Anyway.
What does it stand for? It's a computer exchange.
So it's Kex then I would imagine.
I call it Kex.
It's such a stupid name. But we went in there and we had our dear friend Catherine round one evening. So we thought we'll present them with a buffet of options because these DVDs are like 50p a go. So we just bought like 5. One of them was this movie Life Size where Tyra Banks is a doll and Lindsay Lohan brings her to life.
Yeah.
And the ending makes no sense.
There's like a magic spell that Lindsay Lohan finds in a book in a library. And the premise of it is she's using, her mother is dead and she wants to bring her back to life. So she uses her mother's hairbrush, because it has her mother's hair in it, to bring her back to life. But the gag is her new stepmom had used her mother's brush, not knowing it was her mother's brush, to brush this fucking doll's hair. So it actually brought the doll to life. It's just inspired storytelling.
The end is like she becomes a doll again. It's all emotional because she has to say goodbye to her.
Yeah.
But like, why?
Because it's a journey.
But why does she have to be a doll again? It doesn't make any sense.
Because now Lindsay Lohan has closure about her mother.
Yeah, but neither of them wanted it to end, so she just has to go back to being a doll for no reason.
Because she's not real. She has to be a doll.
Why though?
Because it's just a natural
she
balance
has been
of
brought to life. Now she's alive. It's like killing someone. It's like creating a baby in a lab and being like, we've made you. Now we feel better about ourselves. I'm going to drown you in a bathtub.
I think it tells a strong message, and it's a very well-rounded film. And
I think it's fucking gash.
I think you're fucking gash.
Well, but also we bought Life Size. We bought a movie that we tried to watch the other day.
Oh my god!
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Now listen, Kylie Minogue is obviously everyone's mother.
I have to say, I'm not really a big fan of her music, but I just love her.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Kylie Minogue is a goddess among cows. And we bought this bloody movie called Sample People because it was 10 pence. Because it's a direct-to-DVD movie.
And I believe the edition that we bought came free with the magazine.
Yeah, because it's like not for
literally.
But this was an Australian TV movie from like the early 2000s where it's about eight lives of some, Australia, they're in Sydney or some shit, and they're druggies, and it's like 8 lives intertwining. And it's got Kylie Minogue plastered all over it, and she's in the movie for about 10 seconds. It's the worst, like, shameless use of, a celebrity endorsement ever. And the best thing about it was do you remember the opening credits? Do you remember anything about it?
Oh my god,
and
it's this song playing over and over again.
I'm not saying I remember how it goes, but it goes, come on, feel the real thing.
Oh my god, you remember it?
Feel the real thing. Come on, touch my fanny. I touch Danny.
What just happened?
She touched Danny, which was her sister. It still is her sister.
Oh, that's what happened.
So that was nice. The other one that we bought in that collection was Secretary.
Oh, haven't seen it.
Which is still there because it's that ass. Can you see it?
Where?
Right, you see
Charlie.
Charlie.
I see. What
the fuck is Charlie Cloud?
Charlie St. Cloud.
The shit is that? That's
It's
yours.
a ghost chick flick with
I'll
Zac
tell
Efron
you who's
in
in
it.
that. That's Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Who used to be one.
That's the only reason why I bought the DVD.
Nova and I have mixed our DVDs together. We're looking at them right now. So you see Charlie Cloud, you've got Ghost next to it, obviously, And then you've got Secretary, which is that ass.
Yeah.
Right, and I believe the premise of Secretary is, do you know Maggie Gyllenhaal? Well, I believe you're aware of Jake Gyllenhaal because I've seen all that porn you've got. and Molly? No, Maggie. She's called Maggie Nova. That's Jake's sister, and she plays a secretary who's always bending over.
That sounds fabulous.
And I think that's the whole movie. Her boss spanks her.
Did we not also at the same time get But I'm a Cheerleader?
Possibly, yes. And
see, now that is legitimately a good film.
Well, okay, obviously you are an idiot because it's terrible.
No, but that's one of those films where it's good, but it's bad, but it's good.
That's exactly what it is.
Like
it's
it works.
A pile of shit, but you love watching it.
It's not trying to be.
Who doesn't want to see
anything
RuPaul,
amazing.
as a gym teacher?
And it's got Nikki from Orange is the New Black in it.
That's a very strange film. It's just bizarre. Oh, I can't even. That is next to.
It's good. That's good, you guys. You should watch it.
On the shelf.
If that is on Netflix, that's amazing.
Do you know what's funny is we try to sort of put all of our DVDs together in terms of genre or like what they're like.
It's gotten a bit lost.
Well, it must have
recent
done because
days.
it's right next to Avatar, which it may have had the same budget as Avatar.
No, recently it had gotten a bit lost as I've tried to create space to fit in new purchases. But I think the most point it makes sense.
Well, I suppose I can see. Oh, you know what we haven't spoken about?
What?
Yeah, like this.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like
So
this.
you guys, we actually saw Showgirls the other day.
We watched Showgirls. That's another one. Obviously, it's diarrhea. It's cold diarrhea in a cup. But
Oh my God, that's so graphic.
I loved it. I loved
I
every
hated
second
it.
of its stupidity. I loved watching Jessie Spano rub her ass really violently on that car. Rub around, Jessie.
I hated it. I thought it was absolute shit. It went on for way too long.
It was like 3 hours. But there was one scene where it was hilarious because she goes to this guy's apartment. It's the guy from Speed who Keanu Reeves steals his car at the beginning. Anyway, this guy is in this apartment and he's like, yeah, you want to do it like this, dance like this, and she's yeah, like this, yeah, oh yeah, like that, and then all of a sudden,
I love how you like do all the movements, and if that doesn't like get captured on audio.
you have to do as well. She knows instantly the dance. Like, how is that possible? He hasn't even finished doing it, and she's doing it with him. Like, I know in musicals,
That's like some High School Musical.
everyone starts singing together in musicals, and you sort of, you turn to the person next to you and say, well, that's fucking far-fetched. But at least you give that a pinch of salt. But this was just daft. Bloody daft, Michelle Visage. Which she wasn't in that movie, was she? Did she play?
She wasn't in that.
She played Mommy Oh my god, I watched Mommy Dearest as well. The thing about Mommy Dearest, you know the Joan Crawford thing.
I know.
I don't think you would have even made it through. It's about 3 hours long. It's taken me about 3 months to finish this film. I keep coming back to it because it's so bloody long and boring. But my god, it is hilarious. All of the, Alyssa Edwards, when she did her own Snatch Game, was spot on. Just so ham. I couldn't believe it. So, God, we've had such a movie session of late. We've just got so much in.
I'm liking having Netflix. We've been to the cinema quite a lot recently as well, haven't we?
Oh, you haven't spoken about Blair Witch.
No, we haven't.
I mean, do we have time to talk about Blair Witch?
Yes, we've got time.
Oh, that's great. Oh, have we? Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Right. Okay, so let's talk about Blair Witch. Now, obviously, it's not a secret that that's one of my favourite movies.
The
You
Blair
love
Witch
it.
Project.
The original,
Yeah, I love it.
the Blair Witch Project. Now, it might, be a lot of people think it's overrated. A lot of people think it's not scary. I tend to be a bit snobbish in the thinking that you have to have a little bit of imagination to find it scary. Like, if you don't find it scary, maybe you are a bit of a dull dud.
I think that's a very fair point.
Because a lot of it relies on imagination and putting yourself, immersing yourself into that experience. If you find it scary, I think you are.
If you are watching it with 5 other people who are probably on their phones talking, and you've got the lights on, and it's just kind of in the background, that is the wrong way to watch it. You have to watch it. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up. You have the lights off, and you just need to focus on the movie. Otherwise, you're not getting the full effect.
There's such subtle nuance. You have to really pay attention to things in that film, and then you really get hit with the full kind of, oh my god, that shit is... It's so authentic though as well.
It's very organic.
I think a lot of people of this generation probably would get lost in it, thinking it's probably not far enough away from like reality TV, so it's just something you just watch, because it is very authentically done.
Mm.
You are forgiven for thinking that it's not acting. Well, to begin with, people thought it was real, didn't they?
And that is also partly because of the way that the film was created. I mean, you read all the trivia about it, and there were so many large scenes. I mean, the majority of it was improvised, and these people were put into the middle of the woods and given very little direction and
Very little food.
just given notes every now and then, and they were led around in circles. So
And they were scared and cold and hungry.
yeah,
So
and that's why it came across so well.
So this, the main point about this movie, and there are going to be spoilers going ahead. So if you don't want to, listen to this, maybe just turn the podcast off, but please subscribe. Okay. But the whole point of the Blair Witch Project is that it is based on legend. You don't see the Blair Witch in this movie. You are led to believe certain things happen. There's kind of is it a group hysteria versus
It is very much left open to interpretation.
I think based on what I've read from director, there is a kind of clear-cut way you are supposed to view it. However, yes, there's a bunch of interpretation, but you don't see the Blair Witch. You don't see anything explicitly proving anything in this film. That's why it's so great, because it really is so restrained. But this new one, which is just called Blair Witch, which we were so excited about.
I think the most exciting thing about this new film was the way they unveiled it, because for a while it was working under the title name The Woods, and I remember reading about this thinking, this sounds really, really good. There's a new horror movie coming out next year, or when however long ago The Woods was announced. The Woods, and we have to go and see it. And then about a month or so before release, it was unveiled. They let the cat out of the bag, and they said, actually, The Woods is Blair Witch, and it is a direct sequel.
And the idea is that the main dude in this movie is going to look for his older sister Heather, who was the chick in the original movie, and he's all grown up now, and he wants to go into the forest and make his own documentary about what happened to her.
No, he's not making a documentary. His friend is making a
doing
documentary about his grief. It's called The Absence of Closure, a documentary, because they have the directors of the film created like a fake Kickstarter page. Well, it is a real Kickstarter page where you can donate money to try. I didn't really understand that. If you guys are a fan of this franchise, have you seen that? It's been posted on their social media. They're trying to make out like it's real, but obviously it's not real. But what is the money going towards? I read it, and all it was a summary of like this girl. Oh, she's still missing. The police haven't found her. But it doesn't say, are they raising funds to find her? Are they raising funds to make the documentary? It's really strange, and it looks like it's a real Kickstarter page, and you can donate money. But what is the money for?
I've not seen any of this, so I can't.
It's called The Absence of Closure, and I didn't understand what they're actually trying to do with money.
Well, but they are going to look for the sister, though. That's what he wants to find out what happened to her in this one.
No. This Kickstarter page has been made after the events of Blair Witch, so this new group of kids are missing.
Right, but I'm just talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Blair Witch.
Yeah.
I don't know what this Kickstarter thing is.
No. I just mentioned that because he wasn't making a documentary. It was his friend who was making it. He just wanted to find his sister. He didn't care about the
She was along for the ride.
But she wanted to film it because it was part of his story.
There are aspects of it which are great, but they did too much. In a nutshell, you see the Blair Witch, it's too Hollywood, there's too many special effects, there's too many jump scares, there's music in it. I mean, it's dressed up, it's not in the same, it's not respectful enough of the original, in my opinion.
I agree with a lot of your criticisms, but they didn't bug me as much as they bugged you. I agree that it was too Hollywood. Whereas the first one was so raw and so underproduced, this felt very overproduced, especially the lead up to them actually going into the woods. I thought that was very corny.
I found it startling that they had to add so much kind of in the way of visual effects to justify that it was, broken up footage. There was loads of, not white noise, but, there was broken,
You see, I disagree with your opinion on that because you didn't like the glitchy effects, the transitions that had glitches and static and stuff like that. But I said to you that is what damaged digital footage would look like if it was restored. If you had an SD card that was water damaged or a digital tape that had been knocked about or something, that's what the damage would look like if it was restored. It would be like glitches. To me,
it just seemed like they were saying, like, "Oh, you guys, we need to keep up this level of, realism." And in the original, you just didn't need that. It was just
because it was just tapes. It was analog tape.
Well, I know, but I just don't think it was necessary. There was so much of it.
I think it would have been a mistake for them not to have it. It wouldn't have been
so distracting.
I think it would have been realistic without it. It would have looked even more produced and more polished.
But to me, it was going along with the same thing. Like whenever you have these found footage movies now, there's always the sort of there's a minute or so at the beginning where they have to explain away how they have so much battery power, or where did they find the footage, or how they can carry on, why they're filming, like why they're doing it. Like, you don't need to. We accept that it's a found footage film. You don't need to go into that so much. I just think it takes away from it because you can just sort of you can tick it off, or you've got a list.
It'd be more believable to have that as writing at the beginning of the film, and then no one has to.
Exactly. You don't have to sort of phone it in. Like, we know that that's the deal with the film. I didn't care for, but there was music. I thought that the fact that they made a great big deal about this is not going to be like the direct-to-video sequel.
There was nothing like that.
No, but hear me out. that it's not going to be like Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, because that was rushed, and it was, special effects, it was so naff, and it was, it was a money maker. But then they, after how many years has it been? 17 years. They still did, so many things to sort of keep it in line with this generation of, horror fans.
I just think you're so harsh on it. I don't agree with that.
There were too many, I just thought there were too many special effects.
I don't think that
It turned
at
into
all.
a slasher.
I don't think that at all.
Jump scares. I just
Okay,
think jump
I
scares
agree
are
with
naff.
I agree with that, but it was almost like they were aware of that. There was one point in the film where there were like 3 in the space of 10 seconds, and a character actually says, "Can people stop doing that?" And I thought that was kind of a bit tongue-in-cheek. That they were almost taking a piss out of themselves in jump scares. I thought that was quite funny.
But that still, to me, says that they wanted to put jump scares in to make it scarier, which is cheap to me. Anyone can make
I
someone
think
jump.
it was scary without the jump scares. I thought it was scary anyway. It really terrified me towards the end. I was really scared.
Okay, so that bit is actually the best part of the film, is the end part, because they go into the house that the original
Austin Parr's
shack that Josh isn't in the house. Mike and Heather are in the house at the end of the original one. I mean, I believe Josh was the one that killed them, but that's neither here nor there. So they end up in this house, and you can see all the different rooms. I love it that you could explore it, and the attention to detail with that house that they had done was spot on. It might as well have been filmed in 1999 in the same location. It looked exactly the same, which I very much appreciated. And I liked, what I did appreciate was the explanation of the kind of time loop.
Yeah,
that
it
made
expanded
sense.
on the mythos.
That you would walk somewhere and end up in the same place. All of that made sense, which actually makes the original movie scarier when you think about that they are also experiencing that.
That they could never have left.
So they couldn't have left because they were just screwed.
It wasn't Heather's fault. They weren't lost.
No, they
could
weren't.
never have
See,
left.
that adds to it, which I did appreciate that.
I thought the most impressive part when that was first approached in the sequel was when they sent the drone up, and all they could see were trees. They couldn't see the edge of the forest. They couldn't see any marks on the map. All they saw were trees, and I thought that was really scary, because that would make me shit myself.
I
if
liked
was there.
the drone aspect of it. I just thought it was going to go somewhere else. There were parts of this movie that I feel like they put in maybe to, again, make it more realistic. It didn't go anywhere. The whole thing with the bird and she hurt her foot.
Oh yeah, I thought that was stupid.
That went nowhere.
Yeah,
what
that
was
was
the point
stupid.
of that? It was a waste of time. So there were lots of parts that were just not good. I think it was far too sort of horror slasher. The last scene, it was they had a very clever device, because, they say that you're made to look in the corner, stand in the corner, so that the Blair Witch can have someone kill someone else, and then she kills you afterwards. So the very clever device right at the end was the bird had the video camera. She was looking behind her with the camera. Kind of similar to, in Harry Potter, where you can't,
with the basilisk.
where Hermione looks with the mirror because she doesn't want to directly look in the eyes. That I thought was very clever.
And the
But-
acting really of the cast
She
there
was very
really
good.
shone through.
She was very
Really
good, that
shone
chick.
through. Yeah.
But, it was the fact that the Blair Witch was a big, gangly... Alright, okay, I like the backstory. It makes sense with, because they banished her into the woods and they put her on a rack and stretched her out and stuff. But it was just a gangly, white, sort of, Slender Man character.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah, but I just don't buy it. I don't like
What did
that
you want?
I didn't want to see it. I didn't want it.
You see, I
That's scarier.
disagree with that. I understand what you're saying, but I disagree with that. I thought the idea that they showed her was so shocking. I was not expecting it, and it really scared me, because I was not expecting it.
I don't know, something within me felt that they didn't have the right to show her. They just didn't have it.
I just feel like it's so harsh in this film.
Well, listen, maybe it's because there were so many things that I thought were just wrong with it. If there were one or two less, I could have got on board.
No, but these little things, whilst I agree with you, they seem to bother you a lot more than they bother me. I can let a lot of it go.
I think it's probably fair to say that there would have been very few scenarios where I would have liked a sequel.
Yeah.
I think I've just invested so much time in it, I would have to have made it myself to be satisfied.
I think that's probably true.
But, I like that it was reopened. I like that people are talking about it again. The thing that makes me sad the most is a piece that I read about, that Heather wrote herself. Because she there's a part in Blair Witch where people keep screaming people's names, and she keeps screaming for this guy's name in the woods, or is it a couple of names, and the hairs on my arms stood up because I thought, what if all of a sudden you heard Heather screaming Josh?
That would have been so clever.
Would have absolutely terrified me to my very core, because to think that she's still there looking for him in that time loop, that would have been so sick.
Yeah, they really missed an opportunity there.
But I read that they approached Heather and asked her how she wanted to be a part of it. And she said that because the movie essentially ruined her life, she didn't want anything to do with it. She didn't want her name. She said Heather was fine. She didn't want her surname involved. She didn't want her likeness or her voice or anything, because she doesn't want it to be. She's been weighed down by it. You would do. I mean, if your entire, when people cast you and shit, you're going to be that dead girl. Because, I mean, it was what they did. The marketing was genius for the original movie, saying that those kids were actually dead. I mean, it's cruel. It's really twisted. It's genius because obviously it's the most successful movie.
I bet they would have all been on board with it at the time.
Oh, of course,
thought it was hilarious.
of course. They who doesn't want to be part of like the most creative viral campaign ever? Like, who doesn't want to be at the center of that? But in looking back, you had to take a risk, but it just ruined all of their career. In terms of acting. It didn't necessarily have to, but I think, it's a very hard thing to pretend to be dead, to have people send you sympathy cards and to fall off the face of the earth for a while. They weren't allowed to do any of the regular promotion that actors go through for ages to keep up the pretense they were dead. And it screwed her over, and I think she sort of had a rough time with it. So it was just sad to see her kind of, because she's not in the public eye now, and I think she actually was a very talented actress. She won a Razzie Award for the Blair Witch Project.
I don't think that was fair.
It's wildly unfair because I think people really confused
the annoying character for being a bad actress.
Yes.
This is what I think about with Kristen Stewart. People think she is a bad actress because Bella Swan is such a vapid, annoying character.
Kristen Stewart was in Still Alice, that one where Julianne Moore has Alzheimer's, and I thought she was very good in that.
I think Kristen Stewart's a fantastic actress.
She was in Panic Room. She's sick.
I think she played the role of Bella Swan, having read the books myself, perfectly. But Bella Swan is a complete lack of personality.
Heather is such an irritating, whiny character. She gets them all lost. She screams. She's got a very high-pitched voice. All right, it is kind of a bit of her because she did play herself, but she acted her way through it. It's a very authentic. You can't tell me that bit where she's snotting into the camera. She's crying. I mean, I think she really felt that. I think it was getting her a Razzie was very unfair. So that was sad. So, I will watch the movie again. I'll give it another shot.
And I would recommend that you guys go and see it. Don't not see it because of the mixed reviews. Go and see it and see what you think, because I honestly did like it. I liked it. It had its flaws. I preferred the first one. I did prefer the first one, but I liked the sequel.
I would really like to hear the opinion of someone who hasn't seen the original, doesn't know much about it, but then watched this one. If anyone out there has experienced that, because what is it like just as a standalone movie? Does it really make much sense? Is it?
That's a good idea.
I don't know really if you haven't seen the original, if you get much out of it, because it is a bunch of teenagers going into the forest and they get lost. So that is not an amazingly original idea. But when you're waiting and you're looking for, references and, shit like that, it's just a different ballgame. So go and see it. I will see it again. As I say, the last scene is very impressive, apart from obviously what I said about seeing her, which I just did not like. And I think that's my main thing. If you forget everything
The
else,
reason why
that's
you
the
don't
main
like
thing.
that is because you decided to do the Blair Witch Halloween this year, and now people are going to be like, well, you don't look like the Blair Witch.
Well,
this
no,
is your
because
issue.
there
You're just like,
are
oh, for fuck's sake.
there are franchises. I think about this as well. Halloween is such an amazing franchise. I love Jamie Lee Curtis in that, and I love the movie Halloween H2O. Now that's the one where
I have it under authority. That's the only good one.
it's 20 years later, and she's a headmistress of a private school, and Michael comes back, and she thinks she's finally over it, and all of a sudden he's there, and she kills him. She lops his head off, and that's the end of it. And that is the most satisfying scene in movie history for me. She finally kills Michael, and she can rest. And then all of a sudden they do another movie where lo and behold, apparently in the last scene, Michael switched places with someone else and she kills some random like delivery guy. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't buy that. That's so cheating. You can't just do that. That's like in Misery when she's like, he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car. He didn't. You can't just cheat to wreck quotes. It's phony. So I choose to accept certain things in franchises. And also my costume's going to look great.
Right. We'll see.
It's going to be very hairy.
Well, that's just you in general.
I mean, part of me is worried it will look a bit like like not a yeti. What's
Caveman.
an abominable snowman? What's a yeti?
Yeah, an abominable snowman.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Isn't a yeti something to do with space?
No.
Space yeti. What's that? That's something.
No.
Oh no. Well, listen, we've got people coming to our party as the Vesuvian next door is doing Cruella de Vil,
I'm excited for that.
which she's already got the character down. She skins things all the time.
Oh my god.
We've got her wig. Nova's gonna style her wig. Where is that thing?
It doesn't take a lot of styling to do. It's a perfect cut and style already. It just needs some product in it to spike it up a bit. She's gonna do like the Glenn Close like wig, as opposed to the actual like shaggy animated version.
I don't know if do you reckon Charmaine wants people to know? Shall I just say what she's doing? She won't give a shit.
I don't know.
She won't give a shit. Charmaine is doing, and Charmaine last year, mind you, did Myra Hindley, which went down, I'm going to say well. I'm going to say well. I'm sure people were absolutely outraged. But this year she's doing Jackie O in the famous pink Chanel suit, splattered in blood, with maybe a bit of brain.
I think that's just so tasteless.
It's so tasteless. I said she should come with a giant Cadillac strapped to her ass, and then she can
God.
do a role play. She can like lie backwards on the car and like spin around. Like,
Oh, stop it.
a bit of brain here and there.
God.
Brain earrings. And what else have we got coming? We've got a Queen of Hearts. Do we know what Kat's doing yet?
No. She's thinking maybe she wants to do like a raven.
Oh, I like that. No, there's coming these Novyms. No one's allowed to know that yet. It's a secret. I don't know. I can't think of anyone else that's doing shit. Oh yes, we had word that we're going to have a whole Addams family coming.
Oh yeah.
There's a Morty. Hang on a second though. Morticia. Yes, that's fine. Gomez was not bald. I'm thinking of the other one. I was going to say, what's he going to do? Put a ball cap on. That's
Gomez had a fine with her.
Yes, I'm thinking of Festa. No one's coming as Festa, are they? No, then there's Wednesday. Someone should come as Festa. And Pugsley. What a boring outfit Pugsley would be. Just a stripy shirt and a pillow. What are you guys doing for Halloween? Do people have parties? Do
I
people
feel like it's getting so big in the UK now, and even as recent as 5 years ago, it wasn't really a massive deal. But everyone's really getting into it now, and I blame social media. I think because social media is so accessible, such a big thing nowadays.
Yes, you see
We're getting
everyone...
so much more influence from the States in UK, kind of like youth culture. I think Halloween's becoming such a big deal, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, everyone's thinking, what the fuck are they going to talk about after Halloween? We've got no content left. What are we going to do? Oh, don't. It's so depressing because then it's Christmas.
I hate Christmas.
Well, my birthday's in between, and I'm going to be doing an unconventional birthday because it's going to be the unconventional challenge. You have to come as an outfit. Well, wearing an outfit made of...
Come as an outfit.
As an outfit, come as you are. Your outfit has to be made of unconventional items. You know, a la the... well, it's Project Runway, really, isn't it? Drag Race just... Well, yeah, they have the garbage one. What else? What unconventional challenges happen in Drag Race? The garbage one, I think, springs to mind. They did the one out of the money, the paper money.
Paper money, hair.
Oh, hair, yes, stuff, things like that. Again, Charmaine, I think she's doing a dress made out of cigarette cartons, which is just foul. Like, it makes me want to throw up. Imagine what she's going to smell like. I mean, she stinks at the best of times, so she's absolutely going to be just garbage. But, yes, so that's going to be something else to look forward to. I don't think it was going to do it.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to think. I remember seeing Perfect Androgyny back in the day did a week where they had to make something out of unconventional materials. And Scarlet Starlet did this really cool bustier piece made out of plastic plates. And that was really, really cool. Were they plastic or paper? I can't remember. But I don't want to just rip off her idea. But that
Well,
was
then
really
please
interesting.
don't. We all know now. You should have just done it. No one would have known.
People would know.
And then I also want people to be drinking out of unconventional vessels.
Oh, that wasn't a thing. You know, you should really make this like an event on Facebook, otherwise no one's going to turn up.
Oh, people will. They'll drop stuff for me.
Not to do like a whole big thing.
No, I
like,
know.
it requires
No, I will.
effort. You need to do it like soon.
So, I have to decide on guests. You know, do you invite Positive on dough? Do you not invite Positive on dough? What do you do? Critters? Well, listen, how long have we been?
Well,
now?
that's probably about right.
What is it, like an hour?
Just under an hour, 56
Oh,
minutes.
guys, you know, I've really enjoyed this time and we've spent together. Have you know that?
I mean, sure.
God, you were so bloody rude. I'd love for you to just get on board, just pitch in, say something
You're a
worthwhile.
lot. You're a lot to get on board with.
Why can't you just sort of go with the flow?
Well, it's a very, very erratic flow
You've always
to
got a
go with.
fucking branch stuck up your asshole.
Well, maybe if there weren't so many fucking twigs and branches all in the living room at the moment, I wouldn't have
You
one
wouldn't
up my
have
arsehole.
one, would you? Let's stop talking about your asshole. Okay, guys, thank you for listening.
Thank
If
you for listening.
You're going to sleep or on the bus or, you know, in the bathtub.
Was a really awkward pause after in the bathtub.
Oh,
I don't know where our minds are going.
the branch in your asshole.
Okay, on that
Okay.
note,
Please subscribe to our channel. Tell a friend.
yes, love to all of you. All of our social media
I think
and
it
shit will
could
be
be
in the
moved.
description.
Yes, social media would be great.
Yes.
Find us. Stay with us. Bye then.
Bye.